What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the JuiceBox, presented by Lock City. It's Claw here today, and I hope you guys are all having a great start to your weekend. Today we'll have episode number 97 of the JuiceBox, with an outlook into the Friday MLB slate. But before we get into it, just a reminder that you can join our premium tier Discord at wap.com/lockcity. For only $5 per month, this gets you access to every cheat sheet every day across all active major sports, access to premium picks from all 9 of our pro cappers, and tons of sports-specific and stat-specific data points on a daily basis to help you become a better sports bettor. That's wap.com/lockcity. Get instant access for only 16 cents a day. All right. To recap yesterday, the JuiceBox Lock of the day, Yankees minus 1.5, cashed pretty easily. Yankees win 4-0. Like we talked about, the Guardians just can't do anything versus lefties. Max Fried, 6 innings, 1 hit, 0 earned runs, 7 Ks. So, with that being said, let's get into today's slate. The first game of the day, we have the Marlins at the Rays. We have Edward Cabrera versus Zach Littell. Cabrera has actually been really good lately. His back-to-back starts where he's given up 0 earned runs. He's also given up 2 earned runs or fewer in 4 of his last 5 starts. On the other hand, Littell's been solid as well, 5-5 with 3.86 ERA. And I think the best bet here in this game would be the under 9. The weather is good, but both of these pitchers are in good form, and neither offense is really overpowering lately. The Marlins, they just got to face the Rockies, and they got swept. They scored 2-4, and before the Rockies, they scored 2 against the Giants and 1 versus the Giants. So they've been having a tough time hitting lately. The Rays, on the other hand, had a crazy win today coming back. They scored 4 runs, but 3 of them were in the 9th inning, and part of that rally, only the couple balls they scored 2 runs on a ball that didn't even leave the infield. And the Texas, it's just nothing to write home about. So I think my favorite bet in this one would be the under 9.5. Moving on, we have the Phillies at the Pirates. Joe Ross versus Bailey Falter. Looks like this is going to be a bullpen game here for the Phillies. I'm not sure who's going to come in after Joe Ross, but he's probably only going 1 or 2 innings. On the other hand, Bailey Falter has been pretty decent this year. He's 4-3 with a 3.14 ERA. And Falter himself has allowed 0 earned runs in 4 of his last 5 starts. And again, he gets a Phillies offense here that they haven't done much. 4 of their last 5 games, they scored 2 runs or fewer. I would still lean the Phillies on the money line because obviously the Pirates are just one of the worst teams of baseball. You might only need 1 or 2 runs to beat them. So I would lean the Phillies and an under. Next up, we have the Rangers at the Nationals. We have Patrick Corbin versus Michael Soroka. Patty C coming home, making his returned to DC, where he spent a bunch of years. He's been pretty solid this year. He's 3-4 with 3.71 ERA. I'm sure he's got a little extra motivation coming back to face the Nats here. Soroka, on the other hand, 2-3 with a 5.81 ERA. He's allowed at least 3 earned runs in 4 of his last 5 starts. Man, he's facing the Rangers, though. The Rangers, I hate backing the Rangers because their offense is literally terrible. They just can't hit. They've lost 4 of their last 5. The Nats, they've also lost 3 of their last 4. I don't really have anything on this one, honestly. I think Corbin can pitch well. The Nats have struggled with lefties at times, but they could also be familiar with Corbin. There's not much I like in this one. I would lean the Rangers on the first 5 here. I think that Corbin is better than Soroka, so I'll go Rangers first 5 if I had to play in this one. Next up, we have the Red Sox at the Yankees. Walker Buehler versus Will Warren. Walker Buehler comes into this one 4-3 with a 4.44 ERA. He just is coming off getting shelled by the Braves, where he let up 5 earned runs. And I think he's going to give up some runs here today. Again, he's not a guy who I'm worried about getting strikeouts here. On the other hand, Will Warren, while he may get some strikeouts, he's also himself has a 5.19 ERA, and he's coming off getting shelled by the Dodgers. I think my favorite bets in this one would be the over 9. I think both teams are in a spot where they can score runs. And I also like Will Warren over 5.5 strikeouts. All right, next up we have the Diamondbacks at the Reds. Eduardo Rodriguez versus Nick Lodolo. And we're going to come back to this one later for the JuiceBox Lock of the day. But moving on, we have the Astros at the Guardians. We have Colton Gordon versus Logan Allen. My favorite play in this one would be Colton Gordon over 4.5 strikeouts. You can get that on plus 116 on FanDuel right now, but the guards they can't hit lefties right now. Max Fried, 7 Ks, Carlos Rodon, 8, Tarek Skubal, 13, Andrew Abbott, 5, Ranger Suarez, 5, Carlos Rodon, 8, Cole Reagans, 10, Chris Bubich, 5, Tyler Anderson, 5. Gordon's over in 204, but one of the starts was versus KC. That doesn't really count. They just don't strike out. So, Colton Gordon over 4.5 strikeouts. And I would also lean Astros money line. Again, the guards literally can't hit lefties, so I think the Astros get this done in a low-scoring game. They've also been kind of destroying lefties lately, and Logan Allen's a lefty. Next up, we have the Cubs at the Tigers. Ben Brown versus Tarek Skubal. I'll lean the the Tigers on the money line here. Again, they also have been struggling against lefties. I would also lean Skubal over 7.5 strikeouts. He's just been dominant this year, and matchups haven't really mattered. Also, Cubs much worse versus lefties. Next up, we have the Royals at the White Sox. Seth Lugo versus Davis Martin. The Royals, kind of a tough spot for them here. Actually, coming in off a doubleheader, they use a lot of bullpen arms too. Lugo, 3-5, 3.45 ERA. Martin, 2-6, 3.67 ERA. He's been pretty good this year, lately actually. I would My best bet in this one would probably be White Sox plus 1.5 here. I just think that this is a good spot for the White Sox, and the Royals bullpen is taxed. And the White Sox bats have been pesky lately. They just beat the Tigers. I think they might be able to sneak one here. Next up, we have the Padres at the Brewers. Randy Vasquez versus Chad Patrick. Vasquez, he's 3-4 with a 3.99 ERA. Patrick, 3-4, 2.97 ERA. I'd lean the Padres as a dog here. I like the way I think their bats might have finally woken up there in San Francisco. They scored 6 the other day. They scored 2 only yesterday. That was Robbie Ray. Tough matchup here. I think they match up much better here, a righty versus Chad Patrick. I would lean the Padres. Next up, we have the Blue Jays at the Twins. We have undecided for Toronto versus Bailey O'Bear. Nothing in this one until we see who's starting for the Jays. Moving on, we have the Dodgers at the Cardinals. Justin Robleski versus Sonny Gray. Dodgers got a nice comeback win yesterday versus the Mets, and Robleski starting today. He's got an 80 ERA, but he one good start, one bad start. He shut down the A's for 0 earned runs and 1 hit. He got lit up by the Nats, 8 earned runs. So it's tough to say how he's going to fare here. Sonny Gray, 6-1 with a 3.65 ERA. He's coming off a 7-inning shutout versus the Rangers. Looking at the BVP here versus the Dodgers, they've got decent numbers versus him. I think I would lean the over here and probably lean the Dodgers, but I'd play the over before I played the Dodgers. I just don't know what we're going to get out of Robleski, and I think that the Dodgers are always live to score 4 or 5 runs. Next up, we have the Mets at the Rockies. Kodai Senga versus Antonio Senzazella. The Rockies are on a 3-game win streak. Don't look now. But I think my favorite bet in this one would be Senga over 6.5 strikeouts. You can get that minus 105 on DraftKings. He just faced them in his last start, and he looked pretty good. He went 6 2/3, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, and he got 7 Ks. So he cleared this line already versus him. I think that he can get 7 again. Rockies second in the league in strikeouts versus righties. Next up, we have the Mariners at the Angels. Bryce Miller versus Kyle Hendricks. Mariners are kind of in a slump here. They just got swept by the O's at home. The Angels just took 2 out of 3 versus the Red Sox, but the one they lost was a crazy game, 11-9. I think in this one I would just lean the over 9.5 here. Hendricks, he's got a 5.34 ERA. And his BVP numbers here, let's see how he fares versus the Mariners. Yeah, they're hitting 267 off him, 45 at bats, not too bad. But I do want to fade Bryce Miller here. He's 2-4 with a 5.36 ERA. He's making his second start coming off the IL, but his last 3 starts have been, pretty bad, honestly. 3 earned runs in 4 innings versus the Twins, 7 earned runs in 5 innings versus the Jays, and 4 earned runs in 4 innings versus the Athletics. I think we see runs here. I would play the over 9.5. And I would also, on a side, I'd probably play you can get Angels plus 1.5 minus 130. I like that. Or, if you want to get a little spicy, you can take the plus 124 on the Angels. Next up, we have the Orioles at the Athletics. We have Dean Kremer versus J.P. Sears. My favorite bet in this one's going to be the over 11. We got a Coors total in this game, but for good reason. The O's look like they're starting to heat up now. Their bats have finally come to life. Their pitching staff, I still don't trust them, but have been a little bit better. They've won 6 in a row, and the A's, they finally got a win. But they're still 2-18 in their last 20 games. I'll lean Baltimore on the money line and the over 11. This ballpark has been really receptive to runs, and I like the way Baltimore's been swinging the bats, and the A's have been swinging well lately too. They just put up 14 in the last game, and Kremer, nothing to write home about here either. All right, last game of the night, we have the Braves at the Giants. Spencer Schwellenbach versus Hayden Birdsong. Schwellenbach's coming off of kind of a legacy game. We had 11 strikeouts versus the Red Sox. I do like his strikeouts here, over 5.5 is minus 145 on DraftKings. But the Braves, man, we gotta have a serious talk. This team stinks, man. There's no way I'm laying minus 135 on the road for this team at all. They were up 10-4 yesterday, going into the 9th inning. Ended up losing that game. They've lost 4 in a row. The Giants at home have been pretty tough as well, though. They've won 2 in a row versus the Padres. And Birdsong has been pretty good this year. He's 3-1 with a 2.37 ERA. He's only made 3 starts, but he's been pretty solid in them. 1 earned run versus the Marlins, 3 earned runs versus the Tigers, no earned runs versus KC. Outside of yesterday, where the Braves got to face Brandon Pfaadt, they haven't been doing anything on offense. 1 runs before yesterday. So, and all their advanced metrics, they've been a bottom 10 offense the last 2 weeks in baseball. So, I would lean the under, but my favorite bet would be Giants on the money line here. But what we've all been waiting for, the JuiceBox Lock of the day. We're going to go to the Diamondbacks at the Reds. We're going to take the over 9.5. You can get that at minus 105 on DraftKings. All right. And then, but looking at this here, Eduardo Rodriguez is going to make his first start off of the IL in about 3 weeks. But, man, he had been horrible going into the IL, and I always like to fade pitchers in their first start back, so he's probably going to be on a short leash, which is fine with me anyways, because the Diamondbacks have one of the worst bullpens in the majors either. But coming into this, before he went on the IL, 4 earned runs versus the Giants, 6 earned runs versus the Dodgers, 3 earned runs versus the Phillies, 8 earned runs versus the Mets, 4 earned runs versus the Rays. He had 2 good starts this year versus Miami and Milwaukee, but he also had 4 earned runs versus the Nats. I know the Reds don't hit lefties very well, but I don't think it matters in this case. Erod could get lit up. The weather warm. Looks like the wind's blowing out as well. So, Great American Ballpark. looks primed for runs. On the other hand, we have Nick Lodolo. It's 4-4, 3.1 ERA. But his starts at home have been pretty rough. He's been horrible at home. He's got a 6.15 ERA at home. Looking at his last few home starts, 3 earned runs versus the Cubs, 3 earned runs versus the White Sox, 6 earned runs versus the Nationals, 4 earned runs versus the Mariners, and the Diamondbacks for a long time, or at least the last couple of years, have been known to crush lefties. So I love the over here. Not much BVP to even talk about on Lodolo, but definitely don't mind fading him here in terms of scoring runs. So lock that in. Diamondbacks, Reds, over 9.5. JuiceBox Lock of the day. It's minus 105 on DraftKings. Let's cash, and we'll see you all again here tomorrow. Peace.